Um, so this is going to be an interactive session, but all I ask is sometimes hold your questions till the end, because I do have to check out the hotel at 12:10. So the first thing you're going to learn today is what do hiring managers look for? The second thing you're going to learn is how to articulate your value added work experience. Third, when you do second, you automatically build your self-image and self-confidence. Um, how not to network and some interview jewels for you. So the career transformation is a three-part process. First, you have to extract what you have actually done over your life. Second, you have to express it in a certain way. And third, when you do extraction expression, you exude uh, when you're talking to the hiring manager or other of your teammates. In the past, I don't think this is applicable to you. Today, what people are looking for in companies is creativity, your individuality, and proactivity. Proactivity means that if you know there's going to be a problem um, coming up in a month, you don't wait for the problem to come up. If you know the solution, you proactively say, "This is going to be a problem. I'm going to deliver the solution for you." This is what proactivity means. Um, so, what is the ideal length of a resume?
Like 2 to 3 pages?
Okay, pick a number. Which one?
Okay. Two.
Okay. How
Two.
about two? Okay. So I saw a 3-page resume and a 7-page resume. The maximum you guys have work experience is 2 pages. If you were a fresh grad, that'd be 1 page. Um, so imagine you are applying for a position and there are 70 other candidates, and HR has filtered it down to 10 resumes. How much time do you think the hiring manager is going to spend on each of those 20 resumes or 10 resumes?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 minutes, I'd say,
Okay.
maybe.
All right. 5 seconds. So keep this in mind. People don't read anymore. When you're doing doom scrolling, everything on Insta is less than 30 seconds, right? So maximum the hiring manager will do is a scan, not read, 3 to 5 seconds. So what I want you to do now is you have a resume, your resume in front of you. And when I tell you to start reading or scanning to yourself, not to me, and then I'm going to tell you to stop. Okay? Understood? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Start. Stop. How far did you make it?
2 lines.
And what did those lines say?
I just read the headlines, like
Okay.
my name and what exactly I
Okay.
titles, like
Okay.
what
Okay.
are titles I said. That's it.
Okay. Asif?
Yeah, I got to my jobs basically. Like
Okay.
whatever was in bold.
So, gentlemen, you just took yourselves out of consideration. Do you understand the gravity that if you don't say something valuable in the first half, top half, the first page, you're out and you wouldn't even know. So the first half of the first page, top half, is the most important real estate, and you're going to learn how to make sure you stand out there. So this is the key lesson for you today. So I know this is a hard to read, but does it pass a 5-second test? No, it's
No.
blah, 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 blah. Doesn't give any information as to what you've actually accomplished. Here's another one. And these are real ones, by the way. And this guy is an investor. So, how do you get hiring managers' attention? Your resume right now does a phenomenal job of putting down actions, what you did in the past. Action. You're very good at it. You know, researched and did this and that. Where is the result? So all of your current versions are missing the results. If you don't have a result, you're not considered. So how do you actually get to results? I'll give an example. A result would look something like this. I created a filing system that resulted in 300 plus man hours saved per week by my company. Out of the beginning and the middle and the end, which one is most important for the resume?
And
300 plus man.
Yep, that is a result. So results can be quantified in four ways: money, percentage of save something, or time, or another number. So imagine all three of us or four of us now. It's the day of judgment, and Namaz is first in the line, and I'm right behind him. And the question gets asked, Naman, how many, um, how much zakat did you give in your life? So Naman goes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I give a lot of zakat. A book opens, and on the page is a precise number of how much Naman gave in his life. Second question. So how many salat did you do in your life? Allah, I did a lot of them. Second line, Naman, this is the number of salah you performed. Third question, how many Ramadans did you complete? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a lot of them. And you have a precise number. Our faith is built on quantification. Do you agree?
Yes.
The Christians say, oh, just have faith in Jesus. We can do anything in life, kill a lot of Palestinians, but we'll go to heaven because Jesus will save us. There is no quantification. In Judaism, there is no quantification. For us, there is precise quantification. So take this lesson to heart in your life. Going forward, any work you do, you have to know beforehand, what does my result look like? If you don't know, whoever is giving you a job, ask, what does success look like? Oh, just do a good job. Then it is your job to say, well, can you tell me how would I know I did a good job? So you have to keep asking, and because now you know the secret. You have to help your manager help quantify because he or she doesn't have any idea either today. So quantification is baked into our DNA because we're Muslims, and we have to take this to heart. So another example, did this resulting in this? So gentlemen, do you know what a quantification should look like? Money, time, percentage, or any other number. This is what a quantification should have. And again, I'm going to send you all this that I'm sharing with you. So don't worry about. So if you did some, because right now your resumes are very rich with the actions. You might say, 3 years ago, I don't remember, how do I quantify? How do I produce a result? So what I want you all to do from today, get a notebook, have three columns like I'm showing it to you. And over the next 2 weeks, start writing the actions you did. If you can think of the result, put down the result, but it has to be quantified. If you can't think of the result, Then try to imagine on the challenge column, what were you trying to solve? What was the problem? Sometimes you forget what the result looked like. So make a guess, but don't be aggressive and don't be passive. Write something that is reasonable, okay? Because this is your major work here. You have to fill your bibliography the day you were born. If you received, a special essay writing prize in the fourth grade, put it down because your result is already there. First place in my essay. So do this as far back as possible. The question you might, well, why do I need to put my childhood things? Because you should be proud of what you have done. Because right now we have all forgotten what it was like. Maybe in the 10th grade, came first in a 400 relay race. So this is for you. And then, of course, when a position comes along, you pull in the right appropriate matching results based on the job description. So this task is on you. It's going to take you 2 weeks. Um, and just do a data dump. Don't try to wordsmith it. That's point because I want you to get to the result part. Have a number, and then you can work later on how to articulate it in your resume. Any questions so far? So this is what your results should look like.
Do the results necessary? So sometimes the results were subjectively impactful and not necessarily impactful on the whole for like the whole organization.
But we're talking about your contribution, not the organizational contribution.
I
For
mean, the
example,
contribution to the organization, though, right?
yeah. So
Okay.
I'm gonna take an example as if I'm not from the biofield. Let's say you discovered a molecule. You did some research, and it got launched into some pharma, and it was clinical trial. And if the efficacy received was, hopefully more than 70%, you have a number, you have a quantification
I
from
see.
discovery to the result. So you have to go back everything you did in academia, try to come up with the result because you had a result because you kept on getting funded, right?
Yeah.
There was a reason they were funding you because you achieved something. And now you know precise way to measure it. It's either percent, time, number, or a dollar sign.
Okay.
And I want you to do as far back as possible. So include your, teenage years, your high school, your university, and so on and so forth. Any questions?
And the writing way of doing this, like first demonstrate the result and then uh, display the actions, like reduce time to build maintain the mailing list, and then uh, give the actions like research a new database
Mhm.
software. Correct?
So
Is that right?
what goes on the resume is result, not your actions.
So you don't have to display the action.
No,
Like how do you
because
do done that?
if you put the result saying maintain $75 billion loan portfolio, reduce marketing by 30%, the person on the other side, first of all, he said, wow, this guy has numbers. He will ask, can you explain to me how you did this? That is when you share the actions, not on the resume. Your goal is to write a result that is going to invite questions as to how you did it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And later
Like
on, you
it
will
should
learn how
be
to.
on the first line or like
No, no,
you know,
we'll go through it. We'll go through. I'll show you some examples.
Assalamu alaikum, Shahid bhai.
Walaikum assalam.
I had these points in my profile long back. Like I had like 15 to 20 points in each project. Not each project, sorry, 15 to 20 points overall all the projects. Then I got a feedback from one of the HR saying it's too much numbers. Please, can you remove it? It was a direct talk. So since then, I tried to remove these numbers. I just keep it minimized. But I'm not sure whether it has to be project wise or it should be in a group section saying accomplishment at the end of the resume.
Okay. Okay. First of all, that HR person was a total idiot. He or she gave you the wrong advice.
Yeah, I believe so because I was a little confused. I
Yeah.
was, in Canada, they have a different resume format. They usually work in only 1 or 2 pages, but in United States, there is a lot different. They have you have to showcase your, um, I mean, full-fledged resume or something like that. So that's why my profile or the resume is more than five
Mhm.
pages. So
Well,
what do you, yeah.
so you have, whatever number of pages. Is it working for you?
Sometimes it's working, sometimes not. Still a little confused whether it's been properly catered
Okay.
or not. So I'm a
Okay.
little confused on that part.
Okay. So it's not working. I can tell you that,
Oh yeah, I think that.
right? That's why you're here.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so anyway, I'm going to take you through all this, and there will be
Sure.
moments if you're working for a contract companies. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, they will ask you the history, but again, do it the way what you learned today, not their way,
Okay. All right. Okay. I understand.
because it's you who is being presented. It's not them.
Yes, I think they most of the time they try to oversell you and they add
Exactly.
all scrap. Yeah, we don't want that. That's
Right, right,
the problem we need to justify while we
right,
try to face the interviews and all those things. I agree
right.
with you. Yeah, we'll
Okay.
go through this.
All right. So reviewing your accomplishments. When you do this work over the next 2 to 3 weeks, guys, you'll be shocked at what you have accomplished. Because right now you have never expressed this other than, the HR advice. So it's going to give you a very good sense of worth and a positive outlook. Second, because of your accomplishments quantified, it also helps you locate the position that fits you best. It may seem odd that right now all of you are doing spraying and praying, just putting the resume out and then just waiting by the phone or email that it's going to come through, and it's not working. It doesn't work. Third, it helps you articulate what you have actually done. So I don't think any of you have this thing, with the exception, Asif doesn't have to go through this. So if you're coming from the subcontinent culture, there is this saying, don't blow your own horn. Nice people don't do that. You don't want to be seen as hogging credit. I know I'm capable. Why should I have to convince others? I don't think you guys are going through this, but keep in mind that there's a huge difference between empty bragging and the confidence from knowing your skills and accomplishments. So I'm going to run you through examples. The first time I did this back in right after 9/11 for the community here, a guy walked up and he was medical office director. And this is the exact line on his resume: physician backup and administrating office, blah, 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 blah. So I asked the question to him. I said, so why were you hired? So he explained in front of everybody else that this clinic was run by 16 doctors. In the last 15 years, they had never made profit. They met expenses. So he was hired to make sure the um, clinic is profitable. In addition, um, they were treating both people with insurance, without insurance. And the reason for no profit, because 85% of the non-insured didn't make any payments. I said, okay, what did you do? He said, after I observed it in the first week, I made two lines. One line for patients coming in with insurance, and another line for non-insured. Priority was given to the insured, but in between, they would also take the non-insured and they would ask them, do you have, how much can you pay? And then they would adjust the scale. And sometimes they couldn't pay, they would still treat them. So just that action alone, first year, $4 million. And after my question, he had this number right out. He just didn't know that it was important. In addition, he reduced collection rate to 15% for the non-insured. So if it was you, which one would you put on your resume? The bottom one or the top one? Hopefully the top one. So another example. This guy was a marketing manager in semiconductor because I was in this business a long time ago. I knew what he did. This is what he had: consistently overachieved design win budgets and sales quotas for the last 5 years. This is his. So the question I asked him again, um, how many design wins did you have? How many units were sold? What was the total worth of design wins? So after I asked the question, this is what he came up with, that he had generated $20 million in revenue in 2005, exceeded the target by 5 million. So in semiconductor sales, if a sales guy exceeds target to 101 by 101, he gets almost like 15% of his bonus. If the person achieves the target by 10%, this is huge. His compensation goes up by 200%. So I said, how do you know this happened? He said, I got the biggest check of my life and I made a down payment on my house. So he knew the number, but he just never thought. He thought, putting in action was more important. So, I think a month later he got the job because he didn't have a job for a few months. So he got the position that he wanted because when he put this result in the resume in the top, this generates questions. How did you do this? And that's when he answered the questions. So, do these examples help you? Or do you want me to go through another one? You can tell me in the chat as well, if you like.
This is good. We understood.
Anybody needs more examples? Let me know. Because I think you guys are savvy enough to understand what this involves.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else wants more? Okay. One, two. I'm going to move on. So I'm going to skip these, but when you get this package, you can see it yourselves. Um, sorry for scrolling through this. Okay. I don't think this is the case here. You're not fresh grads. Sometimes people say, well, I have no work experience. Actually, I there was a guy a month ago. This is the position I was in. So I said, don't wait for a job because jobs are disappearing. Go and do some freelance work. And Asif, for you in particular, pay attention to the third one, innocentive.com. This is a site where companies who have a problem that they cannot solve internally, they put it out on this platform. Anybody can solve it, and sometimes the they pay you up to $1 million, and people have gotten money, and in every field. So after the session, go and look up the site and see if something pops up interesting that you can do. So for you, this is a very rich area to do. Uh, I have a list. This is a little bit dated. There are a whole bunch of um, remote work sites that you can do. Um, and I think you should do a search on Claude saying, give me the top 50 remote work site, and then send me the list as well, because unfortunately I'm a little bit short on time. I couldn't do this myself. That's another area. So I know it's a little bit hard for you to read, especially if you're on the mobile, but doing a 5-second scan, what does it stand out for you in this resume? Anything?
Skills.
There are no skills.
Right.
Aha.
Percentage of
1.6 billion AUM.
Yep. There is a
percentage.
75% under highlights first line,
Yeah,
third line 1.6.
yeah,
Do you think this is rich with results or no?
80%. Yeah, it does. I mean, looks decent.
Yeah, it's just a start. So this is what your resume should look like once we are done here. I'm going to show you 3 other version. I'm going to send you the template as well. And this is very carefully crafted. It has a certain font, which is Georgia. And the reason for Georgia is the numbers stand out from letters. So nowadays, put the target position. Your summary should be 2 to 3 lines. Actually, the next one will show that. Um, I would, in this market, I would put the signature strengths or skills after the accomplishment. The most important part is the accomplishments. This is what gets you attention. The ideal length of a bullet in accomplishment is 7 words or less. So the line doesn't wrap, because when line wrap, it breaks readers' attention. And then later you can put in the professional experience, so on and so forth. But again, in professional experience, quantification, quantification, quantification. So you will get a template copy, and you just, once you have your accomplishments all extracted, that's where you would put in. And your context should be 1 line. Make it easy for the person to scan. Don't make them read, because they won't. So this is the second page for this person. You can do prior work history, education. Don't put the year of education if you have been out of school for 4 years, because then you will not suffer age discrimination. If you have community volunteerism, do put that in, because people do consider it. Um, I'm going to send you an action phrases document. You can pick and choose and make sure they are action phrases. And you can read later on. Okay. So, word of caution. When you get the template from me in Word, go into Word properties and change the author name from mine to yours. So you might ask, why does it matter? You will send PDF copies. You never send a Word um, copy. So when somebody downloads the PDF, and if their mouse hovers over it, the author's name pops up. Do you want my name to pop up or your name to pop up? You can also put in the document title in the Word, and the subject, um, project management, blah, blah, blah. And you can put some keywords that are in the job description. So I'm just giving you heads up. Please do this. So do right. target position title, professional bio, 2 to 5 lines. Nowadays, stick to 3 lines, not 5. Make it easy for the person to scan. List of 4 to 5 accomplishments right on the top half of the first page. This is what gets you attention. And then you can do the chronological history with accomplishments. You might ask, well, if I have listed an accomplishment at the top, do I repeat it in my chronological history? The answer is no. You don't want to repeat stuff. Put some other ones that you have. Editing, writing, don't write I'm organized and I have experience, just say organized and experience. Bio summary, present tense, job history, past tense. Don't use acronyms. The first time, if you do, explain it out. So you would write, for example, new product introduction and bracket NPI, and then you can use the acronyms later on. The best way to piss off a hiring manager is to be full of acronyms, which are never explained, because you don't know who else is going to review this. So be kind, spell it out the first time, and then you can use it later. So no graduation if it's more than 4 years. Uh, don't write your hobbies if it's unrelated. Don't write your legal work status. And don't write reference upon request, because if somebody's going to extend the offer to you, they're going to ask for references anyway. How to use references. Guys, call your references tomorrow and say, I like you to use you as a reference. And here is the kind of target company I'm going for. And here are the jobs that I'm looking for. Tell them now, not a day before when the company is going to call them. And also tell them if it's a position and you think it's going to move forward, tell them there are 3 critical job requirements and how you fit those requirements. So educate your reference. Don't expect him to memorize your job. And then tell them to expect a call from the company. And keep in touch with them twice a year, proactively. If you get a job and they were involved, say a thank you letter, send a gift or a book from Amazon, and keep them updated every 6 months. So once you're all prepared, you have your accomplishments, you've modified your resume, then you yourself stand up and read loudly back to you. It'll be a surprise for you as to how it sounds, and then you make some modification. Then make sure contact information is crisp and appealing, and yourself do a 5-second scan. State quantified results, write specific position, job history, customize for each position. And the template I have is Georgia, 11 points. List soft and hard skills and use keywords, especially if you have the job description. Do not lie, because you get caught. And once you have done this yourself, give it to your 2 of your friends and ask them as to how does it look to them. They will also have some feedback for you. So use the network to help improve it. And by the way, when I say custom uh, resume for every job, once you have developed that 3-column bibliography, you will find that the top half of the first page probably changes because you want to use job specific accomplishments, but the rest of it doesn't change much. So don't be and think, oh, I have to redo the whole thing. No, about 80% remains the same, because the most important page is the first half of the first page, and that's where you target. Questions? Okay.
Uh, I just wanted to ask you. I mean, I know that you went through our resumes and everything. Um, uh, are they in very bad shape, or is it?
Yes, that's why you're attending this.
All right, okay.
You tell me. So this is
Well,
what you're seeing on
uh,
the screen is a good one.
okay. We're trying to modify it every day, so just trying to be curious.
I didn't say you
Yeah,
modify every day. I said if you're applying for a
yeah,
position, get a job description. You start
got
from
it.
there.
Yeah.
So, guys, what do you think about this one that is on the screen? Does it get your attention?
Yes.
Why?
It has distinguished points, and as you mentioned, uh, like attractive by the numbers.
Okay, good. And by the way, this is a real one. I just changed the name and address. This is another one. Again, this is going to be in the package that you get. So if you are kind of curious or struggling, you can always look at the format. All right. So each one of you is going to do your introduction to me and in less than 30 seconds. So here's the question. Asif, you're going to go first. Asif, thanks for coming in. Please tell me about yourselves.
Ooh, yeah, I'm a neuroscientist and biomedical engineer that was being involved in academia and a professorship, and then transitioned into industry, biotech industry, and trying to develop drugs and biologics for various brain diseases, including Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Thank you. Naman, thanks for coming in. Please tell me about yourselves in 30 seconds or less.
Thank you. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Myself, Noman. I have 9+ years of experience in software domain. I've been working in multi national companies like Ericsson, HCL and all. I currently working as a Google Cloud Security Engineer. I have skills like security, automation, Python, and the I have completed many projects on
Okay.
my time. I have
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else wants to do a 30-second introduction? Can somebody please mute out? There is a background noise on somebody's. Anybody wants to do their introduction in 30 seconds or less? You've seen two samples.
I can do.
Sure.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sohail Salim. I'm having 15 years of experience in project management and technical delivery, and I have more than 8+ years in experience in SAP product development or system landscape transformation. Worked in different domains, including oil and gas and tech industries, and I've been working for large scale enterprise companies all around my
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna skip the other one because I heard what I needed to hear.
Yeah,
So here is an introduction. My name is Noman, and I am a software development professional. I have 7 years of experience. Currently, I'm with Google Cloud Security as a security engineer, and I make sure that customers' data is secure. My two passions are, I'm just going to make it up. Um, I love to explore new areas, for example, Claude's Mythos to plug security holes. And my second passion is XYZ. One of my recent accomplishments at Google Cloud Security was I discovered a 0-day bug that would have caused $7 billion worth of damage. I fixed it, and Google saved almost $7 million in payouts if the bug would have gone undetected. Currently, so your reasons for leaving could be, if you want to say that if you're between jobs, saying because of the economic climate, my division or my position was eliminated, and my next step is this, blah, 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 blah. Again, my name is Asif. Is there anything you like me to go into detail about? Or can you tell me more about your blah, 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 blah? How does this introduction sound to all of you?
Clear and precise.
Okay. What else?
Emphasizes your accomplishments and also your passions.
Okay. So what is likely going to happen when you do this? What is the follow-up from the person interviewing you? What
He
is
will
he or
be
she going to
interested.
ask you?
Yeah, he will not be interested in reading through your resume or finding it out by himself. He'll be trying to follow up questions on what you said.
Okay. So 99% of the time, they're going to come back saying, Sohail, can you explain to me how you achieved this accomplishment? And that's when you tell them that the actions you took. So if there is one thing you remember from this session, do your introduction this way. And some of you might be thinking, well, I don't think it's going to work for me. Let me give you an example. This was many years ago. I had a friend whose son used to play cricket with my twins, and he was in hardware engineering. And so we were waiting for the kids to finish, well, it's going to take 4 hours. So we were walking around the ground, and he said, um, I've been out of job for 6 months and it's getting a little desperate. I said, okay, imagine I'm this company and I'm the hiring VP. Can you tell me about yourselves? So, as you can imagine, his introduction was like yours. So, on the spot, I made the introduction for him. And, he had project experiences. He got it. So 5 weeks later, he calls me. He said, I just want to let you know, I got a call through a network that a company was hiring for exactly what I did. And the VP called me and he said, I have a position. Shakil, can you introduce yourself? So my friend did it exactly the same. So the VP says, if you can explain to me your accomplishment, you have the job. So he explained, he said, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So the VP says, as far as I'm concerned, you have the job. You just need to talk to two of your colleagues that you're going to be working with. And so he went through the loop. The VP never received the resume, never paid any attention to the resume. So this is the power of a crisp 30 seconds or less introduction. And there are many other people who have come to me long after I don't even remember them. And they would say, that introduction, that got us in. So this is the a moment of key moment of learning. And again, I filled some up for you guidance and I will give you the template. So please, you're going to have an introduction, write it with a pencil because each job may require a different accomplishments in the introduction. And practice, practice, practice before the interview. You do this with everybody you interview in a company. You even do it with the HR person if they call you. You do it with the recruiter that they call you. So, um, cover letters. Before you do the cover letter, sometimes still people ask for cover letter. Please get a job description. Please. If you don't do this, you are in spraying and praying area. So why do you get the job description? People hate writing job description. It's mostly cut and paste. But in that cut and paste, they reveal something that is not obvious at the first glance. So, question to you all, what do you think their problem is right now that is hidden somewhere in this job description? I'll give you a few seconds to read it.
They need problem solver.
Okay. Why do you say that?
They have issues of monitoring. They need to run reviews, debug problems. They need to find or have any innovative solutions for
Okay. Okay.
difficult problems. That's why.
Yeah, I think you're on to something. So if you didn't pay attention to the job description, here was a typical letter you will send. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't get any attention. On the other hand, when you read it 4 or 5 times, in this one, their problem is not having high quality. So when they mention high quality, it means their quality sucks. That's their problem. And at the bottom, improving XYZ. So right now, their verification methodology sucks. That is their problem. Do you understand how to decipher their problem? Yes or no?
Yes, the introduction part where they mention the start and the end part, which makes more sense when we try to highlight those.
So always get a job description so you can see what is important to them. It's not going to be obvious because, again, nobody trains hiring manager how to write a job description. So once you have uncovered what their problem is, then on a piece of paper, write for yourselves what is their requirement and how you fulfill that requirement. Quantified your qualification. This is for you. Once you have this, then you can do a reply letter in this format. It's again making it easy for them to scan. On the left side, their requirements, on the right side, how you fulfill that requirement. This is one version of a cover letter. I don't like this one, but some people do. Here is another version. Same thing, it's more descriptive. This is the version I like because it visually guides them to their problem and how I fulfill that problem, how I solve that problem. So, two ways to reply. One is you can put this into a Word, then convert to PDF, and you attach. Nobody likes to open an attached file. So instead, put it in the Gmail itself
Body.
and then send it to yourself because first time it's going to screw up the error that you're seeing. When it comes back to you, modify it, send it to yourselves again. It's going to probably take 3 to 4 iterations for it to look exactly what you're looking at the screen. And then when it looks good, then you send it. Okay. So where do you spend your time looking for the job? 80% of the jobs are hidden. Only 20% are visible on the net, LinkedIn and wherever. So how does it work? Um, so the hiring process in one variations, somebody has an idea saying, our quality really sucks. We need to hire a quality engineer. So the next thing that person has to do is to write a job description. Once the job description is written, then it gets approved from the budget. That is your moment to pounce on. How do you get there? I'm going to show you a little later. Is through your warm network. Right now, we are all in because our network is warm. Because you found me through PMA, I found you through PMA. It's already a network. We know each other to some degree. So this is where 80% of the opportunities are, and they're hidden. Once it goes to the HR, then you're competing with 2,000 people applying for the same job. Then it's almost like gambling. Okay. So do you understand where to find them? It's not through spray and pray.
Before before job posting.
Yeah. Okay. So be a generous networker. I recommend these two books. Read them, inhale them, digest them. You give first before you ask. When somebody asks you for help, respond within 8 hours. So you say, I don't have a network. I am new from the Washington, D.C. area. In fact, you do have a network. If you happen to go to a dentist, that is your network. So what do you tell the dentist? You do your 30-second introduction. You know, Imam Rafiq at PMA is your network. Your insurance agent is your network. Your doctor, your dentist is a network. They know you. So do you understand what a network is? If you go to a cold network, it's not going to happen. Nothing's going to happen for you because everybody's there for the same thing. So you want to find a different way into through the network. I'll give you an example. When the first time I announced anybody looking for help, I think if you were there, you saw 8 people put up their names. And I'm going to share those names with you. Um, once you show me you've taken today's learning and you've applied and you send me your improved and modified resume and a 30-second introduction. Because if I give it to you now and you send your resume as it is, that will reflect very bad on me. Again, the choice is yours. If you want to do this, great. If not, if your resume looks exactly the same as today, I'm not going to give you the context. It's that simple. All right. So sometimes you need to develop, based on everything we've talked about, a one-page networking brief. Let's say I give you the name of the one person who signed up to help. So this is what a networking brief looks like. The things that are different here are your target company profile at the bottom, your target positions, and your target companies. And on the left side, you have some testimonials that are on your LinkedIn profile, if you have gotten them. If you haven't, get them for the people you have worked in the past. So when you connect one of the people who put up their names to help out, um, first of all, you don't text them. You don't email them. You call them saying, my name is this, I go to PMA, and I got your name and number from the post-it note that you put up there to help out. I like 20 minutes of your time. Please, no text, no email. Call them. When you call them after the introduction, do your 30-second introduction as well. And then you say, I would like to send you my networking brief as to which companies I'm targeting. So help them. Don't expect them to read a 15-page resume because they won't. Again, you'll get a template in the package that I will send you. Please read this book. It's a very small book, but it's a very powerful way to develop and meet your warm network. You can get it from a library. So once you set up a meeting, you ask 20 minutes, always arrive early. And this is for if you're meeting somebody in a company. Then when the person comes, you give your 30-second introduction. Then you have 5 questions. The first 3 questions are about them, not about you. So the question is, what do you ask them? Go on to their LinkedIn profile and study it and come up with something that you really want to know about them. If somebody moved from academia to companies, that's a fascinating question. You may want to ask, I'm just curious, I'm looking at your profile, you were teaching at this and this university as a research scientist on brain disease. I'm just curious, how did you make the transition? How did you prepare for it? So, guys, do you understand what I'm saying? The first three questions that are about them, and they will answer to a great length. Actually, in every case that I have come across, if you ask interesting questions about them, the networking meeting goes on for an hour and a half because now they're curious because you gave them the courtesy of asking about them. Then they want to know about you. So first three questions about them. Then the fourth one is ask, what can you do for them? Most likely nothing, but at least you asked. Then you make the request saying, in your LinkedIn profile, I see so and so working in Gentech. Um, can you do an introduction for me? And if you did the question one and three, really being curious, they will make the contact for you. Then you end the meeting on time unless they want to go on, and thank them and ask to keep in touch and say a thank you letter within 4 hours or an article that might be interested in them and keep in touch. So this is a 20-minute networking meeting profile prep. Any questions on this? Okay. Um, so I'm just giving you some sample questions in the 20-minute networking meeting. Do study their LinkedIn profile and discover. You will always find something that is interesting. Okay. You can read this in the package. And on time, thank them and ask them to keep in touch. And do ask for connection on LinkedIn, their LinkedIn. All right. So these are some networking ideas. These are cold networking ideas, but they also have potential job listings. Angel list is companies who get funded in all areas. Um, this newsletter is probably, I'm not sure it's around. I haven't updated yet. And some other areas, because that's where you discover uh, companies getting funded, other people writing a research article or something. That's where you can connect them as well. And one about LinkedIn. So bad news. Almost 98% of the hiring is coming through LinkedIn. Update and beef up your profile now, not tomorrow, now. And you can improve on it. You should also use the LinkedIn search engine optimization, and they have articles on this. So I hope your picture right now is not the one on the left side, dark glasses. Your picture should be neck up, looking into the reader's eyes. That is what your picture should look like. My advice, get a professional picture taken. When you send an invite to someone, don't use the default, hi, I'd like you to add to my network. Instead, customize it. Read their article and say, I'm just curious about your transition from academia to research to commercial companies. Always customize. When somebody asks you for a reference or testimonial, you quantify it because it's public, it reflects on you. If you say, Noman is a very nice guy, he's warm, easy to work with, that doesn't do anything for you. Tell them, guide them, here is what I like you to say about me, and tell them they can modify anything, but keep the quantification. And your title, headline, 140 characters are critical. You guys are very lucky. You can take your tagline, feed it into Claude, and ask it to humanize it. It'll give it to you. Then again, start with your accomplishments, and then you can add some of your skills, but not 5 lines of skills. Maybe the top 7 that are important to you. And later on, when you have time, you can also fill in test scores. It just helps you being discovered, not that it's relevant. You can put in your published papers and articles, which is way down there. It will help you when somebody's searching for the kind of work you've done. Do you think this headline stands out? Mechanical engineer, Matco Foods Limited. Is this interesting? Yes or no?
Very little information.
It says nothing. If it says developed a food processing machine that increased production by 10%, that is interesting. So work on the headline. You can list projects, you can list certifications, but they won't be in the top. They will only help you in the search engine optimization within LinkedIn. Um, all right. Job search strategy, interview pointers.
Stop leaving your face dark. Okay? It's enough. I know that right now we're in a time.
So, sorry, I didn't do the introduction right. Most of the interviews are now on Zoom or Teams. Okay, nobody calls you to come in, very rarely. So there are 3 things you need to do when you're online. So the first one is listen to this guy.
Where people say, well, everybody's doing their best and people will understand. No, they won't. And let me tell you why. Because we're not talking about just a Zoom call that you're going to be on when you're doing virtual training for like 10 or 15 minutes. When you're doing a virtual training, people are having to look at you or look at your face for a couple of hours. Give them a break. All right. So let's make sure that you light your face. We'll talk about some do's and don'ts with lighting your face. Second, and by way of a stop ignoring light sources behind you. Now, if I'm speaking to you right now and I have some big bright window that's behind me, it's going to distort the image that people are seeing. So what they see is a big bright countenance coming from your head and a very dark face. Now, maybe that's the image that you want to purport, that you are an angelic being, distilling upon them training knowledge, and that's fine. That's good. But, I mean, at its core, you got to stop it. So stop it. Okay. Let's talk about some options. You do have a number of options for lighting. Some of them are cheap, others are expensive. And at the very end of all of this, I'll drop a link to an Evernote page that I created with links to all the above. Now, first off, you could go with something just very cheap that doesn't have light color adjustments, but it at least does a fairly adequate job, and that's just a desktop stick lamp. Like if you go on Target or Walmart or whatever and type in, or Best Buy, because all of those are our customers, so whichever customer you want to go to, desktop stick lamp. This is me, by the way, typing desktop stick lamp. uh, uh, you'll see that there are a number of different options, and what you're looking for is just something that has light coming from it is a stick, and it is adjustable like this with a little arm. You put one on one side of your computer, the other side of your computer, you're good to go. Your face is lit. People are seeing the magic, which is you. Now, if you want something a bit more expensive, but it's certainly versatile, I'm going to post a suggestion for a light source that looks a little something more like this. Now, this is a bit more of a professional light. Now, by the way, light sources can get extremely expensive. If any of you, by the way, are in the lighting business, you'll know this, and so many of you that know the ins and outs are knowing that I'm not showing the best of the best. But this is about a $100 light. You might only need one of them. I don't think you need two. You might not need two, but here are a couple of different features that you'll want to ask yourself about when you're doing virtual training. Number one, is it diffused? You notice this has a white covering over the top? Yeah, that's a diffused light. You want a soft source hitting your face so people can see the beauty, which is you. On the back, you'll notice that it has these dials. This actually controls the temperature of the light. So, have you ever watched someone on camera and it's really blue? Like, just the tinge is blue. That's because their lighting source is turned to more of a blue color. They need a bit more warmth in their color, and you can adjust the brightness here. You'll notice there's also an option not only for a battery, so you can do it remotely, but to plug it in. To plug it in there. So a lighting source like this can be tremendously helpful to light your face. Because I travel, I have these little lights.
So guys, I'm gonna send the links to you to these three videos. They are very important if you are being interviewed online and you're having discussions.
Let's
Just
go into audio for a second. Now, because people are listening to you, which I know is super obvious, but because they're listening to you, the audio for the call is something that cannot be overlooked. It really can't. So, oh, I got you. Okay. We can talk about that because it's actually really hard, and I don't know if I have a good solution for that. But I'll get back to that in just a second. So when it comes,
so I'll make it short for you. On Amazon, you can find a good microphone. So please invest. You can get it for 20, $30. It's very critical that your voice comes out clear uh, to them. So first was lighting, second was audio, and the third one is a
feel is
video.
because your camera whether it's on your computer or if you're using an external camera like a Logitech camera or something like that, is using a lens and a sensor. Now, if you were using a big fancy camera, you'd have a bigger lens. This is a 50 millimeter lens for Sony. So see how it has a big lens there? These bigger lenses can pull in a bunch of light. Now, the light that comes in from that lens goes to a sensor, okay, which makes sense of the image. On a fancy camera, you got a big sensor, you have a big lens. That means if you don't have a very light setting, you can still see the image and it looks nice. Because typically we are on cameras which are on our laptops or something of that nature, the sensor's not big, nor is the lens. So the better that you can light yourself, the less work your camera is having to do, which means the better the.
I keep it short. You can get a very good quality Logitech camera, 4K or even higher, and worth an investment. Okay. And again, I'll send you the links to these videos on from my YouTube channel. So, what is the purpose of the interview? The interview will never tell you. They're trying to find out, can you do the job? Do you have the know-how, skills, and expertise? Second, will you do the job? They're trying to gauge your motivation. Third, can we stand you while you do it? Are you likable? Are you team player? That is what is going on in the interviewer's mind. They will never tell you this. So you walk into or you are on an interview and the person asks you right away, Asif, tell me about this research project you did. Bang, right into you with a question. What you should do is, Mr. So-and-so, I love to answer your question. May I formally introduce myself? And you do your 30-second introduction and then answer the question. If they ask you right away, please introduce, then you do the introduction. You have to get your introduction in. Always walk in with a list of prepared questions. I'll send you a big list of questions you can ask. Never ever say, I don't have a question. This is with everyone who interviews you. It shows you're thoughtful, you research the company, and you have questions. The last question you're going to ask, and most of you I know will not do this. You ask, do I have your support for this position? Three possible answers. Noman, you have some skills that we can use, but I have a concern. You haven't worked in this area. So now you have to think on your feet a little bit. You can say, yes, I don't have experience, but if you look through my work history, I am a quick learner. I can pick up any topic within 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm sure, given the opportunity, I can learn this and deliver results. So the second question, um, I think you have the skills. And if you don't hear from me by Tuesday, here is my number. That means you're in. The third question, um, Salim, actually, I have to talk to the interviewing team. That means you have no hope. Because if this person is not willing to commit, he doesn't want to answer your question. You have to ask this question at the end. When it finishes, you know where you stand. Otherwise, you're praying for the next 6 weeks that an email will come. It won't come. Most of the people, when I share this, say, oh, isn't it too aggressive? You're damn right, it's aggressive. It is your right to ask this question. You need to know. So please don't walk away without asking this question. You will know where you stand. Okay, there's some other stuff, but I need to take it out. Tough questions. Why did you leave your last job? You can say, the economic climate is tough, and my department and my job was eliminated. Never say got laid off or fired because you weren't. A best way to do it, the economic slowdown, my department was eliminated, including my position. What are your 3 weaknesses? Number one, you never answer three, only one. These questions are asked by people who have no idea how to interview people. This is a very disrespectful question, but some people still do. So the way you answer, you start with the positive, you relate one time slip up, and then you close with the lesson I learned, and this slip up was never repeated. For example, I was working with a new department, and my work was dependent on their work. And they said, yes, we can do it. And I didn't ask on what date. That was my slip up. So the lesson I learned whenever I'm working with colleagues, other departments, I always ask, what is the target date? And what is your confidence level of that date? So you see, it's like a sandwich. Start with a plus, a slip up, and close with a plus, the lesson you learned. And you never answer second or third weakness. If they insist, say, I can't remember anything other than the one I shared. Post interview pointers. Write a thank you letter within 4 hours. And if you ask them interesting question, you will remember something they mentioned. So mention that, I'm inspired by your focus on leadership, for example. Then reiterate why you are fit for the requirements with the quantified results. And then, a week later, if you see some appropriate article, send it to the hiring manager, not to HR. This is one version of a thank you letter, blah, 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 blah. This is a little bit improved. Not very good. This is a little better. So you can choose the one between better and a little better. So negotiation dynamics. At the beginning of the first call, you have no leverage. By the third or a fourth round, your leverage starts to increase. So you're ready to make an offer. They say, so hey, what is your expectation? If you give a number, you lose. Instead, what you should say is, I'm just curious, what is the compensation rate for this position? And sometimes they give you the range. And once you know the range, you can go always target the higher range. You have nothing to, if you've quantified your results. And if they don't give you the range, then again, they say, what is your expectation? Again, you say, I love to know the range. If they still ask you the third time, then you give the number. And whatever last thing was, bump it up by 20%. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but at least you don't go lower. Again, if you have your accomplishment clearly articulated. And there are many things you can negotiate besides salary, by the way. And you should also know when to accept. So once they extend the verbal offer, ask them to send you the benefit package and the offer in writing, and ask for a day to think about it. Don't accept on the spot. And you can say something like, would you please provide the offer in writing, including copy of the benefits package, employee handbook, for me to consider all information. So I'm going to let you read. There are things you can negotiate beside base salary. What has been the merit increase in the last 3 years? Cash bonus at the end of the year? Any sign-on bonus, which is not happening right now because of the job conditions? Their 401k match, if it's a public company stock options, RSU grant. Nowadays, you get a laptop and a mobile phone. Ask them about education reimbursement, and do they pay for professional dues? Annual leave and working from home kind of days. Health insurance is pretty regular, and parental leave. So summarizing, you can negotiate stuff besides salary. You can negotiate bonus, joining bonus. You can negotiate association dues, the savings plan match, the vacation, and the equipment. And again, what people look for today is creativity, individuality, and proactivity. I highly encourage you to become a lifelong learner. Become a constant learner, not a fixed mindset. Like, oh, I've done things this way, I can't do them. You will lose, guaranteed. So become a lifelong learner. I have these books that I've benefited from. And again, take your pick. You can listen to a book or an audio or a podcast. So, question. Have you learned what hiring managers look for? And I want to hear from you. Either you can tell me in chat or verbally. Anyone?
Are you talking from this meeting or from my past experience?
So now you know what they look for.
Yeah.
Okay, Asif.
They're looking for quantifiable results and how it is that you will fit in with their company.
Okay. Second, have you learned how to articulate your value from your experience? Yes or no?
Yes, yeah. How to, I mean, people can sell many things, but when we try to sell ourselves, it's a little tough because when we present it in a nice way, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. I think you can present your value now, hopefully. And
Yeah.
the last one, does this session help you build your confidence by articulating what you have actually done? Yes or no?
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Zed, this question is for you. So you're transitioning from architecture to UI and UX. In your profile, you need to talk about the work you did. How did it improve the experience of
Okay.
whatever you designed? Did it
Okay.
increase the website traffic by 10%? Did
Oh,
it close the customer orders by 15%? Okay, those are when you present your design profile, it's a good thing, but you need to have quantified outcomes.
okay.
And remind me, I will introduce to you to a good friend of mine who comes for Juma sometimes.
Okay.
He's Turkish, but I actually worked with him for 7 years at SAP.
Oh,
So he will connect you to his network and also help you do that.
Okay.
Um, and also on your own, start studying what is the impact of UI and UX on AI itself, the chatbots and agents and all that stuff, because this is where design is needed. In
Yeah.
these chatbots and agents, they are lacking design sensitivity because I'm also in this area as well.
Oh,
Okay. But remind me, his name is Kurshat, and I
okay,
will
sure.
introduce you to him.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Assalamualaikum Shahid Bhai, Nadeem. I wanted to say thank you. After taking your program, Get a Dream Job, back in I'm going to say 2013, 2012, it was critical in getting a job as the principal product manager at Desire to Learn. And then the skills that I learned continued to help me to get promoted to an engineering director and then fast track to a senior engineering director and a senior director of product management. And alhamdulillah, I've still used those skills now in my new job here at Uberflip, where I take care of product engineering and data science, and the same principles still apply. It's been amazing. I can't thank you enough. I always include you in my prayers, but the program was quintessential to my success. Learning the right things to say, how to voice the work that I had done so that it shows the benefits to the companies, outstanding. Again, thank you so much. Cheers.
Assalamualaikum Shahid Saab. Hope you're doing fine. Wow, what can I say about your workshops? I've known you for a very long time, and I had an opportunity to first take your workshop back in 2009 when I was deciding to change my job from AOL Netscape and looking to join a fintech company. And that workshop came in very handy when in 2009 I was able to become a senior director at PayPal and spend the next 6 years over there. And then when I was also looking for another change back in 2015, I did a refresher with you and also took another workshop in regard to how to have a crucial conversation, which really helped me a lot when I was negotiating, when I was looking to look for the right opportunity, and I landed the job at Capital One. And ever since then, I've been very grateful to all the tips and tricks that I was able to learn participating in your workshop. And I've applied those principles every day at work as I manage a team of over 1,000 people at Capital One in the different platforms that we build around data movement and API management. So the conversation that you need to have from landing a job to actually motivating your employees to really helping people grow in their careers, you have all of that covered as part of your curriculum. So I'm indebted to you, and hopefully we'll get to learn from you in the years to come. Thank you very much.
okay, guys, I think this is the end, and I wish you all well. And when things work out for you, you get really what you want to do, make a contribution donation to PMA.
Sure.
And I don't do this very often, by the way. I only do it when some friend makes a request, and I only do it for very senior people because the CEOs have no clue either, senior VP and blah, blah, blah. And I charge them $7,000. And with the $7,000, I give them 1 month of coaching after the workshop. But because you come to PMA, building a network, this is my little gift in the hope that in future you will make a donation. And in PMA, we are trying to actually get a physical place so we can conduct these kinds of learnings and workshops, gatherings, networking, those who are looking to get married, have those kinds of events. But knowing Mountain View is a very expensive place, But that's the long-term goal. You never know when, we get blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we buy a place of our own. So with that, do
Inshallah,
me a
inshallah.
favor. I'm going to be on the road for the next 5 hours. And in the WhatsApp, send me your emails so I can forward you the package through email. So with that, ask me any questions going forward. And since I recorded the session, I will also upload it to YouTube so you can refer to it with that. So with that, thank you so much for taking your time out. Apologize for the time confusion, but may Allah bless you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you
Jazakallah
so
khair.
much.
Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so
Jazakallah.
much.